Okay, so I am having to re-record this entire thing because I noticed that I was using the wrong audio. Woo! Welcome to the Electric-Eclectic podcast. My name is Sasha, I am your host, and as you can see, we have upgraded to a video format. Ooh. Ignore the mess that is my background. It's not great. It's good enough. You'll have to live with it. I am literally recording this on my couch. In today's episode, we are going to talk about a few things. We are going to talk about. We are going to start with a discussion of cleansing and protection. I'm not going to mention banishing because I haven't yet had to do that, and I would like to be able to speak a bit more from experience. So, we are not going to talk about banishing. But we're going to talk about cleansing, we're going to talk about protection. And then, secondly, we are going to talk about centering and grounding, and a bit of energy work. This is basically going to be the one stop for the absolute beginner practices, if that makes sense. So, yeah, in the hopes that this is anything. Now with a face. I don't know if that's a good thing. You'll have to let me know. You will have to tolerate absolutely awful video quality for now. I'm literally using a webcam on a laptop on this, and the video quality is terrible. We'll live. We will live. You will live. Because I'm not filming this on my phone and then somehow like trying to composite video and audio, because like I am in possession of a microphone. I do not have a cable that would connect that to my phone. It's what you get for having an iPhone, which isn't a flex. Like I would literally rather have anything else, but such is life. So yeah, let's talk about protection and cleansing first. They are very like simple topics. Let's talk about protection. So protection is, well, obviously the act of protecting yourself magically. In this case, right? So as far as I'm concerned, protection is important. Yes, it should be your first practice, but not for the reason people will tell you. Because as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to be like super mega protected all the time. Don't get me wrong, having protection is good. You should have some sort of protection. It certainly can't hurt. But I also think that we place a little bit too much emphasis on, protection above everything, and it spooks quite a lot of people. It spooks quite a lot of newbies, especially, out of actually practicing. And I think that's a shame. So why do I think? Also because like I very firmly believe that quote unquote like negative entities are a lot less common than what people will have you believe. Just to point that out. But, obviously I don't want to like invalidate anyone's negative experiences, but so protection. What are we protecting ourselves against? Well, we are protecting ourselves against stuff like negative energy in general. We are protecting ourselves against entities. That could be all entities, that could be only certain entities, that could be all entities except certain entities. Whatever floats your boat. And maybe even people we don't like. Or like situations we don't want. It just doesn't hurt. So, how does one protect oneself? Well, you can do quite a lot. Anything from big, elaborate rituals that have to be timed with moon phase and whatever to a little bit of energy work and meditation, to putting some salt in a tea light candle. Like, you take out the actual tea light, the actual candle bit, You put some salt on the base, you stick the candle back in, you light the candle. Congratulations. As long as that candle is lit, you've got protection. Well, if you do it with intention. You should, if you do it with intention. But yeah, so that kind of thing. What else? We can actually do a protection spell right here, right now, really easily. So I want you, if you would care to participate, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. In and out. And in and out. Center yourself best you can. Try to really feel present in the moment. And then imagine wherever you imagine the center of your being to be, wherever that feels right, a ball of light. Could be whatever color it is, whatever feels right, whatever feels protective and energetic and nice to you. And then imagine that that ball of light is pushing something outward, and that something is basically a crystal shell, a clear crystal shell. And that is expanding slowly outwards and around you until you are fully encased and protected. And then I want you to feel a rush of what being protected feels like for you. Maybe it's a certain sense of warmth, maybe it's a certain sense of comfort. Whatever it is, really feel it. Take another few deep breaths and open your eyes. Congratulations, we just did a protection spell. Simple as that. Spell work doesn't have to be particularly fancy. So, there's that. Next thing. Now, we can protect. Let's talk about cleansing. Cleansing, I'm going to keep this fairly short because there's a lot of very good videos about this on YouTube. So, and you don't need to hear this for the billionth time because, honestly, if you found your way this far, chances are you've been in witchcraft spaces for a bit, right? If you're one of the 2 people who watch these videos. So, let's talk about it. Witchcraft. Cleansing. Basically, cleansing is a general sweeping out of bad energy. And you can do that literally by cleaning your space, by making your space nice and clean, or by opening a window. That will do it. Opening a window, having a bit of a draft go through. You can do it, but with smoke. Please note, if you are smoke cleansing, you are not smudging. That is a closed Native American practice. Also, don't use white sage. That is also a closed Native American practice. If you really want to use sage, use kitchen sage. Just use kitchen sage. Just trust me on that one. But yeah, you can smoke cleanse with various herbs. I've been told that rosemary and cedar work very well. Personally, I really like using lavender. Why? Because you should always ask why. Because lavender is literally lavender, the name of the plant comes from lavender, I believe it's pronounced, which is a French word for to clean. It's in the name. It is in the name, quite literally. So maybe that's that. Go and clean your go and clean your space, clean your energy. Use the thing that's literally called to clean. Also, because I feel like energetically, lavender not only gets bad shit out, it also brings good shit in. But that's probably just because I really like the scent of lavender. It's not my favorite, but it's certainly not. But it's not unpleasant. I quite like it. So there's that. Please note that if you have animals or small children around, you might not want to smoke cleanse because that can be bad for their lungs. I don't know how small the kids have to be for that to apply, but especially if you have pets, please check that A, they are not in the room with you if you really do need to smoke cleanse, and B, if you do literally anything involving plants, that those plants are safe for your pet should they consume some, should they breathe in some pollen, should they breathe in the smoke, right? Just make sure. We don't want your pets getting hurt. So there's that. There is sound cleansing. Some people have bells. Some people shout. I mean, a good get the fuck out of here never hurt anyone. Some people clap. Some people bang pots and pans. Music's a great one, especially if you are practicing in secret, if you are in the broom closet, so to say. I know some people have a problem with the expression in the broom closet because, it's equating witchcraft, which is something you choose, to queer experience, which is something you don't choose. Personally, like, as a gay trans person, I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cute. But, that's something you've got to decide for yourself. I'm just gonna stay safe and say, if you practice in secret, like, nobody's gonna question you playing some music, and it could literally be whatever music feels, like, appropriate for the moment to you. Like, yeah, it could be, like, singing bowls or whatever. It could also be, like, a pop banger. It could be metal. I quite like industrial, actually, for cleansing specifically. I don't know, it just feels like it properly shoos things out. You could literally do white noise. That works. Actually, in my experience, that works really well, but that's totally UPG. Unverified personal notes is basically a thing that I believe or that I have experienced that, doesn't have, like, full confirmation. You could also, if you're cleansing an object, you can use water. Please note that the object has to be safe to go in water. Also, please note that not all crystals are safe to go in water. Please Google first. Just do yourself the favor, because, like, best case, nothing happens. Mid case, the crystal fucking dissolves. Worst case, it leaches heavy metals that should not come in contact with you. Just be safe. Google it. Google's your friend. What else do we have? On the note of protection, by the way, you can charm jewelry. So I'm currently wearing 2 protective pieces. I figured I should show you. There is this one, which is a little freshwater pearl bracelet. In my opinion, pearls are protective. Why? Again, always ask why. Because they are literally a thing an oyster forms to protect itself. Basically, what happens to form a pearl is you've got a grain of sand or whatever, a small particulate thing that gets into an oyster's squishy bits, and the oyster forms a pearl around it to protect itself, to not get scratched up completely. That's why pearls, in my opinion, are protective, and I've charmed myself a little pearl bracelet. And then this ring, it's a thumb ring. I don't wear this all the time. I do wear this every day, but I don't wear this all the time. But it reminds me of armor, so I like to wear it protectively. We can go into charming jewelry in a different episode. So there's that. What else do we have in terms of cleansing? Sound cleansing, smell cleansing, you can cleanse with water. I'm generally a big fan of water. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Cancer. That's the sign, obviously. Like, maybe it's because I'm a water sign, but, like, I don't know. You can, lots of ways of cleansing. Again, find yourself a good YouTube video. Don't take my authority for literally anything. Actually, don't take anyone's authority for everything. Cross-reference. Find what the general consensus is. Find if that general consensus is skewed by some sort of belief system. Right? I believe in you. You can figure it out. So let's talk the other 3 things. Energy work, centering, and grounding, which are quite closely tied to each other, because all of them require, like, meditation. I don't like meditation, I'll be honest with you. But, such is life. So, let's start with grounding. Grounding is basically getting your energy right again. You know those days where you feel like really off and everything's kind of either really buzzy or really floaty or just weird? Grounding helps with that. So what is grounding? Like I said, it's getting your energy in check again. So there are loads of ways to ground. Again, in this case, YouTube is your friend. In fact, even non-witchy people do it. Some non-witchy people, like the non-witchy, like yoga meditation type crowd, likes grounding. What you can do, for example, is a quick body check, like a body scan. No, that's more centering. What you can do for grounding is you put both your feet on the floor. Some people will tell you that floor has to be like earth or natural material. It does not. Put them on the floor. Feel your feet there. Feel yourself connected to solid ground. Imagine energy, depending on what you need, either energy flowing from you into the ground, sort of the excess energy you have that you don't need, or energy flowing from the ground into you, giving you what you require to feel in balance again. Grounding is a very, it's a nice practice. It's good to have, especially if you are the type who does a lot more like complicated rituals or whatever, stuff that takes a lot of energy. Also ignore the fact that my finger's got an ink stain on it, but stuff that takes a lot of energy, because it's good at getting you back into reality. Let's talk about centering. Centering is sort of getting a feel for yourself, getting a feel for your energy, and then getting basically your energetic ducks in a row. That didn't sound as good as I wanted it to, but So what do you do? So here's a centering exercise for you. Close your eyes, slowly go through every part of your body, figure out how it feels, figure out if you feel like it holds energy or it lacks energy, and then either you can imagine all of your energy coming to center itself, literally wherever you imagine the center of your being to be. Some people imagine that's in their head, some in their chest, some in their stomach area, belly button, whatever. Wherever feels right. Personally, I'm a chest guy. Personally, in this case, I am very much team right here. Which is also why my veiling, I do veiling for energy reasons, tends to go over my shoulders instead of over my head. But that's a discussion for a whole different episode. But yeah, so basically with veiling and stuff like that, not with veiling, what am I talking about? With centering. Again, there's lots of centering exercises. This is also something that the yoga meditation non-witchy crowd does, and the witchy crowd. So you get loads and loads of resources and various degrees of woo-woo. So whatever works, whatever you vibe with, whatever goes. Anything that works. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, energy work. Now, energy work is a kind of thing where you're either really good at it from the beginning, or you're not. In which case, you can learn it. This is absolutely within learnable territory. You can learn energy work. In fact, most people are going to learn energy work instead of just being miraculously good at it. I certainly still am. And I've been at this for years. It's the act of sort of directing and feeling energy. I am very good at the feeling bit. I'm very bad at the directing. But you can... So step one is to get a feel for energy. Other videos will probably explain this better, but it's just... Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and try to feel your surroundings without touching around you. Basically, or feel if there's any buzzing or warmth or stuff that feels like energy. I don't have a better explanation for this. Right, this is why I'm doing a silly little podcast where I talk about stuff and don't promise to teach you anything. Instead of, claiming to teach. So there's that. There's, all of these things basically. And then, as far as I'm concerned, right, like I said, you feel it and then you direct it, you move it. This could be through physical movement of yourself, or through visualization, or through other ways of imagining it moving, because I'm fully aware that not everyone can visualize. Personally, my visualization skills are questionable. But yeah, so figure that out. It's again, I'm very bad at explaining this, so find yourself a good video. It will, like, energy work will do you all kinds of favors, sort of over time. Just do it. Just trust me on that one. Just do that. What else? But yeah, so that's kind of the educational part. I'm planning on basically splitting these videos, these podcast episodes, into an educational part, and then my ramble over whatever I am confused or upset or have an opinion about this week. I'm not planning on doing these weekly, by the way, but like this episode. Today's question: why is everyone and their mother a folk witch these days? Like, I'm not particularly upset about that bit. The thing that I just find it very interesting to see, because not like if I look like around YouTube especially, I've found it less ultra prevalent with other social media stuff, right? Like Instagram is still kind of like that as well, but like I don't know, I'm not really on witch talk, but Tumblr's not as bad. Don't get your witchcraft information off Tumblr, by the way, just don't. But like Tumblr's not that bad. The Discord servers that I'm in aren't that bad. But on you and like, don't get me wrong, like it's not bad to be a folk witch. I just find it very interesting that like a good chunk of our representation of like witchy representation here on YouTube is by folk witches of various folks, I guess. And I also find it very interesting that some of them are Americans practicing non-American folk magic, which I find, like, I have split feelings about that, because on one hand, go ahead, do it. On the other hand, it's like there is this thing where people who are, where white people, let's be real, white people, feel like unconsciously excluded from closed practices and thus try to find themselves something they do belong to, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like I don't know if it's that effective to do. Like, I think it depends on your definition of folk magic, but even then, like, I get it with, for example, Italian American folk magic, because that is Italian American folk magic. So if you as an Italian American practice it, then yeah, go ahead. I also understand practicing, say, German folk magic if you're in Germany. Which, like, not my jam. I may be in Germany, but that's not my thing. As we have pretty thoroughly established by this podcast existing, I am very thoroughly eclectic, and I will tell you now, I am not an animist, I am not very plantsy, I am not very landsy, and I am interested in people, yes, but look, our culture around where I am is obviously the overall German culture of guilt about the mustache man, of opinions about bread, and of being very punctual, except for our trains. But like the part of Germany I'm in is also very Catholic, and that's just not my jam. So it's not really my thing. But like, if you are an American and you've taken a DNA test and you found, oh, I'm some percentage German, you don't have anything that's been passed down in your heritage, I think, like, yeah, go ahead. Honestly, you know what? Fuck it. Go ahead. You can have the German from me if you want. Fuck it. But like, I don't know. It's just like, the thing that kind of annoys me about it, right? Like, yeah, I'm sure being an American at the moment sucks, and I'm not trying to discredit anyone's feelings about that, but like, if you are currently like, but like, either you already have a folk magic in your area. I am aware that there are certain areas of America that actually have like white American folk magic, which is cool, and you might want to look into that. Or maybe you are part of a community that has folk magic already, in which case disregard everything I've said. If that is your community, if you have a folk, go ahead, do your folk magic. But like, otherwise, why are you doing European folk magic? Because like, from what I have asked friends of mine who are folk practitioners, and from what I've talked to people about, folk magic is either connected to the land itself or to the people, and you are not on European land, and you are not European or surrounded by European people. However, that does give you basically a carte blanche to create your own folk magic, and I think that would be so much cooler than going, oh, here's the thing the Europeans are doing. Then again, like, honestly, if you have a different opinion than this in the comments, please tell me about it. Because again, I am very split, because on one hand it's that, on the other hand, do whatever you want, do whatever works. It's none of my business how you do your magic, you know? Honestly, I might just be kind of annoyed by Americans who go, oh, I'm German despite having immigrated, like, gods know how many years ago. And then get really obnoxious about, like, Lederhosen. Which, like, and like, the Oktoberfest, which, like, first of all, that's Bavaria. Very specifically, that's a part of Germany called Bavaria. Second of all, everyone finds that annoying. Like, I hate to be the one to tell you, but everyone finds that annoying. So maybe I'm just annoyed about that instead of being annoyed about folk magic. I don't know. How did I get on this tangent anyway? But yeah, so there's that. But like, what? Again, I find it very fascinating that, like, at least according to YouTube, like, everyone and their mum is a folk practitioner and an animist. Let's talk about animism, actually. Animism is basically the belief that everything has a spirit, and I may not be the perfect person to talk about this because I am not an animist. I will tell you this now, that I am not an animist. In my opinion, plants, rocks, whatever, are ingredients, not spirits. But I do believe that belief shapes reality. So I do not believe that, so it's not going to be part of my reality. If you believe that, no shade. Absolutely no shade. I'm not going to tell you, like, you're wrong. I'm not going to be that obnoxious guy. Because to you, like, in your reality, in the reality that you inhabit that occasionally intersects with mine, that is the truth. And why would I deny truth? Basically. So, yeah. Actually, like, if you're an animist, tell me about, like, your opinion on, like, stuff in general. But yeah, so I just got a note that, like, my computer just told me that it's about to shut down because I need to charge it again, the laptop. So I am going to end this here. So if you're an animist, tell me about your worldview in the comments, please. If you have a different opinion on folk magic, tell me an opinion in your comment. Tell me, like, your opinion in the comments, please. Just stay respectful, and aside from that, I would love to hear about it. If you've got any tips for cleansing, protection, centering, grounding, or energy work, also let me know. And the next episode is probably going to be kind of an overview of what my practice looks at the moment. I'm doing a lot of deity work, so it's basically going to be a deity work episode hidden in a personal practice episode, but yeah. So I'm going to end this here. The next episode probably is going to be fairly, like, it's going to happen soon. So yeah, I hope that you are well. I hope that you will stay well. Bye!